This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Happy Friday, guys. The weekend's here. It's Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the pod. Sarah was the winner of the merch pack this week. Well done, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, you lucky lady.
That's not the...
Oh, wow, that was
that's
me,
really
by the
loud.
It's a pretty good whistle, isn't it?
That's not Sarah.
And now you have saliva dripping down.
Hey, that's not the Sarah that you flew over to New York.
I don't
that slept
know.
on that blow-up mattress with you.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about, but Sarah Ferguson, I hope you enjoy your merch pack.
Does she still work at Triple M?
Classic
Good
stuff.
one, guys. Who's Sarah? Oh, do we talk about this later?
That's a
Yeah,
different
I'm
that's
still
podcast.
learning so much about you guys.
Tom's a weapon in the
You want
sack.
to talk about doesbands?
Oh, I want to talk about this.
Yeah, what's a doesband? Can you explain it to
Me.
everyone, please? What?
Are you? No, you're.
I do
don't.
everything.
No, you're a.
I do everything.
You're
what
a,
load of crap.
a husband who thinks he does everything, and then when he does do something, he wants a medal for it.
You don't even iron your own shirts.
No, I don't, but I do everything else.
You don't wash
You
your
name it.
clothes?
I put washing on.
Do you take it out though?
Yep.
Anyone can put washing on.
I would take it out, I put some in the dryer, and then I drag the rest out onto the drying thing on the balcony.
Never go straight from the washing machine. It's called a horse. The machine and straight into the dryer.
Oh,
That is
if
laziness.
If it's your smalls, though.
No, you don't.
What do you
never,
mean?
Never put never put anything directly from the washing machine into the dryer.
Why?
I think that's a man thing.
Yeah, that's-
laziness, being brought up like that. Oh, move out of home. I don't know what to do.
You're angry
I
'cause
do
you're-
undies and socks. A lot of people say it kills the undies and socks. I reckon it's still you can still get a bit of a
Fine.
life out of them.
Hang them out.
No, don't hang them out. Your problem is that your dog Annie chews the crotch out of all your undies.
Not after they've come out of the wash.
Beforehand, sorry.
They've lost all their goodness by then.
Not while you're doing yoga, Annie. Please.
Annie, don't lose the goodness.
Wait till I get out of the tights. Andy.
Okay, a doesband. You'll find out more
Yes.
and what it means in the podcast.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Tell you what, women can play some wicked games on men.
What a wicked game to play.
Good excuse to play this song.
What a song.
Who's this again?
This way.
This is Chris Isaac.
What a wicked thing to
What a magnificent song. Let me dream of you.
What a wicked thing to say.
Wicked.
You never felt this way.
Let it go, Jeff.
So wicked.
What a wicked thing to do.
Come on, everyone, in your car, turn it up really loud.
Make me dream of you. And I wanna fall in love.
Come on, let's do it again.
Tom and I went camping one time, and this was sort of the trip song in our tent. didn't we, Tom?
Actually, talking of going into the woods, this is in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
It's a horrific story. 51-year-old man was found by police. Lucky escape. Police said the man was found naked and firmly bound with ropes and pantyhose over his head atop a deer hunting platform.
Sorry, Tom.
Near the town of Buchberg late Wednesday.
What happened here? Bucks party gone wrong?
In a statement Friday, police said the man appeared to have been tied up by a woman that he met online. That is a wicked game. I mean,
That's kinky.
how do you get him out into the forest, first of all? How do you get his clothes off? How do you tie him up and then put some pantyhose over his head and then just go, oh, that's it. Hey, that's the shot
it
I
for
needed.
me.
See you, mate. Have a good one.
You would suggest there was some sort of payback, wouldn't you? Almost like he was a married man who started cheating and the wife hired some kinky girl who dragged him into the forest, and he was happy to do that because it was her fantasy. And now she's going to send the photos to the wife.
The 51-year-old man told officers that he had a box cutter on him for such situations, but seemed to have underestimated the woman's bondage skills.
I mean, if he was nude, where does he hide the Stanley knife?
He said, I couldn't reach my knife. I couldn't cut it myself free. I'm so sorry. The lucky escape, because he was in the middle of nowhere, the lucky escape was he was just screaming out, and a cyclist happened to ride past and go, "Oh God, have a look at you, big fella."
It's not Darren, is it? Hang on, mate.
There's a woman's played a wicked game on you, mate. Turn it up again there, Jess. Where is Chris Isaac?
As if the cyclist didn't take a couple of photos first, as a bit of bribery. Hey, mate, I've got you for the rest of my life. I've got you.
As if the cyclist is not going, "Oh, mate, that is horrific. Just wait here. Let me make a phone call."
Yeah.
Oi, Dave, get down here. You got to get down here now. There's this bloke. If it's time for a winter trip, jump on What If, the place to go for quick Aussie getaways.
Probably somewhere in the snow for me.
For accommodation, flights and more, book on the What If app.
What If? It's Aussie for travel.
This is interesting. The biggest marriage killer is not what you think, guys. This article goes on to say it's got nothing to do with money or sex. No way known. I'll tell you what breaks people up because they're very rare to find. And this woman goes on to say, where are all the doesbands?
What's a doesband?
A husband that does things.
Oh, okay.
Apparently we're all lazy.
Well,
why are doesbands so rare? Why is it unusual to have a husband that shoulders his fair share of work?
Jess, can you put in the system divorce lawyer? I did find a grab of this a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
Tommy. Remember this one? You didn't put it up on the board. You obviously didn't think it was worth it.
What
You
did
got
she
it?
have to say?
Have a listen to this one.
I am seeing working moms doing it all. And I'm seeing the husbands step back and say, I don't got to do a thing. She's got the kids, she's got the groceries, she's got the laundry, she's got the meals, she's got the work. And by the way, she's making all the money and she's paying for the house and doing everything else. I'm going to go to the firehouse, I'm going to go play this, I'm going to go hang out with my friends. That's the theme. And women are tired.
Here it is. To extend on that, Fitz, she goes on to say, while men can see their wives doing the dishes and the chores, many have no idea how much mental effort goes into making sure everything runs well in the house.
Look, I agree. And it's amazing to watch. To come home from a job and then to look after kids is an even harder job, I think.
Yeah.
It's and women, a majority of women do it. Let's be honest.
I think what the problem and the breakdown is you're right. Women do a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the man has evolved in a huge way from back in my dad's day.
Yes.
And if you go back further even more, Mum talks about when she was growing up, she hardly ever saw her dad because he would leave before she got up and he'd be home after she'd gone to bed because every night he went to the pub on the way home from work. It was just what it was.
Can I tell you about a conversation I had with my mother the other day? I said, Mum, how old were you when Grandma died? And Mum said, I was 15. Now, they lived on a farm in this huge farmhouse. And I said, she had amazing recipes. She's an amazing cook, our grandmother.
Yep.
And I said, so, Mum, what happened then? And she said, well, I just took over.
Yep.
And I said, so you had two brothers, you had your father, and they were out on the farm every day, and a sister as a sibling. And Mum was 15 years of age going to school, and she had to cook for everybody every day.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
And she said it like as if nothing.
That's just what we did.
Yeah, that's what we did. That's just what we had to do.
You can understand where it came from, and the manual labour, and the men went and did that, and the ladies stayed at home, and quite often, because there were kids involved, they had to breastfeed, so they were the best person to be there, and the roles were sort of identified by that. But now that things have changed, I would like to think that the modern-day man, including myself, you also, Ryan, and I know Thomas Brian Ivy works his buzzies off around the house.
Work my buzzies off.
That's an expression of the old man.
Are you breastfeeding?
I would like to say we are doesbands. We get our hands dirty.
Can I just say this? I don't think we can classify ourselves as doesbands.
We're doesbands. The list goes on. Do you share both bedtime rituals with the children? Do you help out at bedtime? Yes. Do you clean the fridge and chuck out food that's going off? Anyone? Yes. Does he make the kids' lunches? No, I'm not home. Does he keep track of birthdays? No, I don't do that. Does anyone do that? That's not my role.
No,
Facebook's job.
Yeah.
Does he shoulder the equal responsibility of keeping up with friends and families and calls and texts? Oh, that's stupid. Do you take plans to plan the week's meals? Yeah, we do. I'll say, let's have lasagna Wednesday night. Let's do spag bowl on a Friday. And I'll do a barbecue on a Sunday.
Does he transfer the money into Bum Bum's account every Wednesday?
Well, Bum Bum hasn't worked for us for a long, long time. Dory's still there and Gozzier and Jamie the pool cleaner. But does he come up with ideas for kids' birthday presents? Of course we do, because I think right now men and women or married couples are working together more than ever before.
Yeah, you keep telling
So if you
yourself
want
that,
to
mate.
start writing these sorts of articles, then I'm going to fire back with the force of 10 men, because I ain't finished here.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Have you guys heard of an artist called Michael Jackson?
I recognise this beat.
Isn't it amazing?
Remember
that
when it came out? 1984 it was.
his family lived at 23 Jackson Street.
They did not.
That's the name of the street they lived in.
Is that why they're
Jackson
called the
Street.
Jacksons?
I mean, that's
Five.
not. I mean, Jackson's quite That's Jason Jackson, who lives here in New South Wales.
I know Jason Jackson, and because I'm going through things at home at the moment, I should have brought it in, but I didn't know you were doing this. I like things to
What
be
have you got?
spontaneous. I have a tear sheet from the Advertiser, which is the paper, or the Macarthur, the Chronicle, I don't know, the local paper of myself and Jason Jackson. It's black and white. Funny that. And we were opening the White Elephant stall in, I think, Jumerick Street in Campbelltown. So we're out the front holding second-hand wares, saying,
heavyweights.
come on down. You can meet Kate Ritchie and Jason Jackson.
I'm home.
Did you ever hear Michael Jackson? He put so much into his dancing. Did you ever hear his isolated grunts? Where they isolated all his grunts when he would dance.
When he's doing the move.
Have a listen to this. And this was him drinking Pepsi on the set.
Before his head caught on fire.
He was an amazing artist. This is him drawing with a texture cape.
What's he actually doing there? It just... Does every sentence end with... Do you know, if Jason Jackson is listening, don't be afraid to call the show, Jace. We always like to check in.
How's this? If Jason Jackson is listening, I hope that he watched Antiques Roadshow last night like Fitzy was.
No way.
And I could not believe it. A lady over in London has rocked up, not with a vase from the 18th century, Kate. She's rocked up with a fedora.
You're kidding me.
And I'm going, me. How do you know?
Oh, she's saying it's Michael's.
Right, have a listen to this.
This is Michael Jackson's fedora.
Yep.
It was very much his trademark. Not only did you get the hat, but you also got a letter of authenticity, because that actually is what it's all about. It's from head of press, from Epic, and it confirms that this was thrown from Michael Jackson at his 30th birthday.
How do you know that? How do you know
And
that?
who is the letter of authenticity signed by?
So it's from the record company.
Bubbles.
Who said it was his 30th birthday party. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Throws the hat into the audience.
But he was famous for throwing the fedora.
Is this the
On
one?
stage,
yeah,
yes.
like the
The
quite
moonwalk.
pointy. Yeah.
And he would throw it. And I remember when he was coming out for the Dangerous Tour saying to Mum, we've got to be there, but we've got to be in the first 5 rows. I want to catch the hat. I want to catch that hat. Did you know what price? I mean, I would have thought $50,000.
Well, this is what blew me away, because they actually likened it to an Australian sale of Michael Jackson memorabilia, and this is how much the hat is worth.
One of Michael Jackson's gloves sold in Australia. I would put a figure starting at the glove price, which was the equivalent of £25,000, and go up from there.
Really?
So there's some poor old woman standing there with an old dish behind her going, oh, Jesus, I don't have a Michael Jackson hat.
No.
They could test for DNA in that hat, couldn't they?
Well,
Wouldn't there be hair?
Well, there'd be skin in the glove, wouldn't
I
there?
wouldn't.
Like skin flakes.
Yeah, well, everyone's shedding all the time.
Could be
all the time we're shedding.
Could be other people's DNA. I would not be checking
on the
too
glove?
much into that one.
That's not what
Could
he had
open a can of worms.
That's not what he had the glove for.
We are learning things about members of the team all of the time.
Man,
Lizzie, get up to the microphone here.
Hi.
So we're talking about Michael Jackson, his hat, fedora, Antiques Roadshow. A lady brought in one of his fedoras that he threw at supposedly at his 30th birthday party. It's worth $25,000.
Plus.
So then we just throw to the song then, Escapism. Lizzie texts the team and goes, "Oh, by the way, my mum went out with Michael Jackson and went on tour with him."
Lizzie,
Is that exactly what she said?
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Talk us through this. What was your mum doing at the time?
So in the 80s, she was the marketing person for Pepsi.
Great.
And so when they brought him out here,
Yes.
he... one of the stories was that he called her up at 3 a.m. in the night and said, "I really need your help. I need you to come down to my hotel room." Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did he have his hat on at that point?
Look, I don't know.
And what
Probably.
happened?
Yeah.
He was trying to perfect his moonwalk in the hotel room, and he was asking my mum, is this good enough?
You're kidding.
Yeah, he was really nervous, and then I think from that he took a liking to her, and the next day he organised to go to the zoo, and it was just the two of them that went to the seal show together.
Got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Any photos?
Yeah, she's got heaps of photos.
Oh, Lizzie, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I was.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's a bit
That's a
creepy, to be
very
honest.
big
I'm
call
happy
to
to make
say
it.
on the radio.
I mean, there was a lot of people that became obsessed with Michael Jackson because they couldn't quite get their head around it.
Yeah.
So, and did it go any further? Was there any relationship at all?
Well, she did the tour around that world tour that Pepsi...
She went around the world with him?
Yeah.
Is it the dangerous tour or something?
Yeah, I think so.
He asked her to go on tour with him.
Yeah. So she went around and went on like all the private jets and things like that.
Wow!
She has lots of amazing stories.
She must have kissed him.
I won't disclose.
Oh,
Do you know whether she did or not?
I do know.
So it's a yes.
Yeah.
No, it's
You just heard that. It's a
Don't
yes.
pressure her to
You
answer.
just cut her off. She said yes.
Did she ever talk about Lizzie about a moment? Did she go to a party, or was she in a moment where she just went, "Oh my gosh, what the hell am I doing here"?
Yeah, she had a story about how once he played a prank on Sheryl Crow, I think it was, on the jet, where he got some black paper and put it over his teeth and turned around to smile at her so it looked like he had no front teeth.
Good gear.
Oh, he's a card.
Just like crazy stuff like that.
He's loose.
What a character!
So, how long were they together for?
My mum and Michael?
Yeah.
I don't think they were really ever together. I think they were just,
Hanging.
cash
Yeah, gotcha.
dating.
Friends with benefits.
This is amazing, Liz.
How have you kept a lid on this story for all this time?
It's pretty wild.
And after the tour, did she keep in touch with him?
I don't think so. But when he died, she was very, very upset. Yeah.
Did she get any memorabilia at all, or
Yeah, she's got heaps of signed things. She's got like a whole sort of framed picture thing of the whole
him doing
experience.
the moonwalk in the hotel room?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That's front. You can't get a better seat than that front row seat of Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. Was he in his pajamas or something?
Yeah, like just trackies kind of thing.
Cash.
Yeah.
Cash
loungewear.
Cash dating.
I've got a new move. Can you just check out my new move? I'm a little bit nervous about it. That would be unbelievable. At 3 a.m, I'd be like, first of all, mate, I've got to be up in a few hours for work.
No, you wouldn't. It's Michael Jackson.
No, you would get down there. I mean, there'd be trepidation in your step, but you would get down there. Did he try and buy a monkey at the zoo, or?
I actually remember her saying something about how he was obsessed. Like he just,
with the apes?
It was like a kid in a candy store. Like he was obsessed with the monkeys, wanted to take them home, kind of thing.
Wow.
That is the best story I've heard in 23.
Lizzie just wrote me a message too, just here, saying that your mum's got assigned one of his noses as well.
Yeah, I did exactly that. That's exactly what I did.
Ryan, you're ruining a story.
Did.
And you are really
didn't even need
you
that.
are diluting a factual story with your humour.
Wasn't that a myth?
No,
or was that
I
true?
told you how I sat next to a lady one time in a cafe.
Yes.
And she worked, I think, for Sony at the time, and she said, I did a bit of work with Michael Jackson. And then she was telling me how she got to know him a bit, and then backstage when he was performing, she walked into his green room and there were just sketches on a pad of all these different noses. So it was kind of just mid-design, I think, for whatever the new look would be.
Well, the talk was that he could change noses.
What? I never heard that. We
Like
could do a
Mr.
whole
Potato
show
Head.
on Michael Jackson stories.
Lizzie,
Have
that
you
was
got
amazing.
Lizzie,
one?
that is awesome.
Thank you for sharing.
Crazy.
Thank you.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Kate Ritchie, you've got an article in front of you and it highlighted the most crucial parts to it, so I look forward to the summary.
Thank you very much for
Highlighting skills there.
Well, it's not my best. It's called panicked highlighting.
Okay.
And but what is most important with stories like this is just you hit the
headlines.
You hit the headlines. Let's talk a little bit about discipline. I don't want to say punishment, but I guess that's what it is with kids.
Yeah.
Like, how far do you have to go to keep them in line? How harsh are you willing to go to teach them a lesson, but also to keep intact the relationship that you would like to have with
good
them?
question.
There is a father that took to Reddit or one of those online discussion forums, and he has punished his 16-year-old daughter after she took a bottle of alcohol to school. Which is not, that's not okay.
That's not.
I mean, it's going to happen, I would imagine, with young teenagers.
Yeah,
It's snuck into the school bag. She's taken it to school. She's got into trouble. It's a big deal. And it's not only that. I think maybe that's the peak of what's been happening. That she's been hanging out with the wrong crowd. There has been a few drinking issues.
Those
that I guess
laybacks during recess were a bit heavy, I thought.
Yeah,
Just those free pours into the mouth during recess.
exactly. Jaeger bombs at 120.
Bit of vanilla essence. So we went through a vanilla essence stage at our high
It's got
school.
alcohol in it, doesn't it?
Does it?
Just a little bit.
Essence. Okay. Well, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, everything does, really. Anything you want to clean.
Yep. Doesn't it?
It does.
Wash your potatoes in vodka.
Really?
And then make vodka out of your potatoes.
Oh, well done. Well done, Whip.
Good one.
So
Initiative. Anyway, so he's thought the best way to handle this and to discipline her and teach her a lesson is to cancel her 16th birthday party. Now, that's a big deal. I don't think this isn't just a little gathering at home on a Friday night, movie night at, Chantel's house.
Yeah, right.
This is a coming-of-age story.
It is. I think it is. I mean, it's the deed is. It's what she's done is possibly the worst thing that you can do. It's not just she's doing it at a mate's place on a weekend. She's taken booze to school.
Yeah.
But
And you want to nip something like that in the bud early so drinking habits don't develop.
Kate, my older sister's name is Louise, and the unfortunate thing for her is her birthday is on the 1st of January. So every New Year's Eve, she had to behave herself because it was always a family lunch. 21sts were a big thing in my house.
Horrible.
I had a big 21st. Kate had a big 21st.
Can't you do it on a different day? When you're a young lady and you're 18 years of age, you can't.
I know. And it was a situation where Louise had a 21st that was planned, and she came home the morning of the 1st of January. Yeah. And
Great start to the year.
Really good start to the year. And there was a family lunch that was taking place, a big family lunch. John had put on a full spread. He'd cooked his rice. He's got his tin spaghetti going, and he's ready to carve some ham and light the candles.
She's just come home from field day.
She sat in the front room of the house once she'd been carried out of the car, just rocking back and forth,
crying,
and
full of regret.
3 hours crying in the shower.
See,
and Dad,
that's a big day.
Dad went off his head, not only at her but at her friend, and said, "You're responsible as well for not looking after her, knowing we had a lunch."
Well, that's a lot of pressure to put on a friend.
And the 21st was cancelled.
There was a huge traditional pub, a traditional event that they would have Christmas Eve every year down in Adelaide, where we grew up, and it was everyone would go to it Christmas.
Yeah, I think they did that where I grew up. Bradbury Pub, I think, was the one everyone would go to in Campbelltown.
Most ridiculous night to do it when you have to deal with family members the next day.
Yep.
I mean, some might argue it's the best way to deal with family members the next day, because can it get much worse?
Or to write yourself off and realise that hell is just hell. It can't get any deeper.
It's going to be awful tomorrow anyway. I'm going to throw everything at this.
I'm going to burn it now.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie.
Hey, that's the secret. Podcast password.
If you want to get your hands on stacks of great prizes, just head over to our Instagram stories at FitzyWhipperKate and enter this password. Today's password is
Moonwalk.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Miley Cyrus. We've got some huge Miley Cyrus news
I like
for you.
Miley.
Do you?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
well,
Miley
tell her
fan.
that. She's made a decision about her career that's left a lot of people saying, what is going on here? But she says she can't sleep on a tour bus and she is not going to tour her new album, Endless Summer Vacation, which is kind of ironic because I thought she was going to hit the road and...
Endless? Didn't even start.
And have the summer with everyone. But she said she doesn't... She's told her fans, I don't want to miss out on the comfort of being in my own home. She said, this is nothing to do with a lack of appreciation for the fans and everything to do with I simply don't want to get ready in a locker room, which is the reality of life on the road.
What, do you want to do it or not?
These looks I've been turning don't travel well. The archival looks don't fold. I just don't want to sleep on a moving bus.
There's a song in that. I just don't want to sleep on a moving bus.
She said, when I win, we win. Even if I don't see them face to face every night at a concert, my fans are felt deeply in my heart. I'm constantly creating and innovating new ways that I can stay connected to the audience and I love without sacrificing my own essentials. She just loves being at home. I think everyone gets to that stage in life.
You know what I loved? I mean, there was a great moment too, and I kind of reflected on our relationship, Fitz, but in Ed Sheeran's documentary Songwriter, his mate, and they travel together quite a lot, his mate... they had to go from the UK to the States, I think, and he said, hey, Ed, I can't fly again, mate. Yeah. I don't like flying. So Ed said, no big deal. Let's set up a studio on a cruise ship. So they got on a cruise ship and took something like 10 days while they recorded and spent time on like one of these big Carnival cruise ships and had the time of their life. Never once have you ever said to me when we've got to go to the States or the UK, no big deal, mate. Let's go on a cruise ship. We can do the show from the cruise ship. You've never said...
Because you're not Ed Sheeran. Because you're not Adele, mate.
Because you've never said, mate, that's cool. I'll do 3 weeks on a ship for you. There's a song in that too,
absolutely no chance at all. I would rather fly by a plane and you go by ship.
Oh, so you don't even want...
No.
You don't even want to come with me on the ship.
No, well, you can...
But Ed goes with him to support him, so you're saying you're going to remove the support and let me go on a ship by myself.
I don't even sit next to you on a plane. I move my seat at the last minute so I don't have to talk to you.
So you're not interested in going to the UK on a ship with me?
Even Tom does it.
What do you mean? No one wants to sit next to me. I don't get it. I've never understood this. Now that we've got Kate Ritchie as a new team member,
poor Kate.
I should sit next to her on a flight. She'd love that.
I tell you what,
you would really
we would lose her quick smart.
You're listening to the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Here we go, guys.
All right, thinking caps on. Tommy, we're streaming live on the Fitz and Whipper Facebook page.
You bet we're ready to go.
Okay, here we go. Get your brains on.
Put your radio brain on, Tom. Let's do this.
And let's do this, Tom.
If you can find it. Am I right, Tommy?
Where is it?
It's your last day for a reason. Here we go, guys.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
What has no hands but might knock on your door? And if it does, you better open up. Sometimes it comes knocking, MDG.
Yeah. It's got no hands. Might knock on your door.
Kate, I reckon you might end up with this one.
Knock on your door.
You've worn your roll neck. You look like Steve Jobs. You're very focused.
What?
Oh, you don't see many turtlenecks in radio.
Hammer and nail?
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
It's not using your
What
hands.
has no hands but might knock on your door? And if it does, you better open up.
No,
it's the
not
door
like
handle, the bell.
Think outside the square.
Is it?
Sometimes it comes knocking. You don't want to miss it.
Opportunity. Got it.
Bang, MDG.
Strong.
Just a little
Gave
bit.
that away.
Yeah, he did.
How did I give that away? Why didn't you get it?
Sometimes it comes knocking. I mean, you can't introduce
get it?
Opportunity any better than that, because I was concerned that you were likening me to Steve Jobs. Cause
No, it's just the turtleneck, that's all.
Yeah.
It's not like it looks good. It's just you don't see many of them. Unless you're in the tech sector.
What is the new iPhone looking like?
everyone wears turtlenecks.
Not everyone wears turtlenecks.
I don't.
No.
Well, you shouldn't, MDG.
Oh, don't get personal,
Just couldn't get it over your bonds.
Okay.
Does your neck get too warm sometimes? Like, does it get too much?
No, I like it. It's like I'm having a warm hug all day, and this is so soft. It's like
Cashmere.
God, it looks like Scanlan Theodore, isn't it?
It is.
Well, it's expensive.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yes, it is,
And
but
it
it's not.
It could snow at any time.
It's not. And then I don't need a jacket.
Okay.
And sometimes my chest gets cold.
Don't
I want to
get
get
it.
a cold.
Don't get a cold chest.
I used to love the band The Sharp. They used to
It's
wear
a really
skivvies.
old
Skivvies.
reference,
Really
mate.
back.
I've got one which is brown. Skivvies. We move on.
Skivvies are great.
What goes in dry and hard and comes out wet and soft?
It's like a sponge.
Sponge kind of.
What did you drop your head for?
A tea bag? You've already done this one?
Yeah, you did teabag last week.
What goes? Say it again.
Tea bag or...
What goes in dry and hard and comes out wet and soft?
Is it a tea bag?
No.
A face washer.
Well,
No.
that would be an answer.
No, but it's not the answer. We could do this every week.
A dry and hard.
So sponge is incorrect.
Incorrect, Tom.
Good answer though.
It is the right answer, isn't it?
It's not the right
I
answer.
think they're all right answers.
They're not. I have one answer in front of me.
Is it opportunity whip?
No, it's not, mate.
Okay, mate.
Damn.
Is it
Is
something
it your
to do with
shadow?
baking?
No.
Cooking?
No.
Is it blood?
No.
Is it related to water in some way? Is there?
I'll give you a clue. It's related to saliva.
A toothbrush?
No.
Chewing gum.
Bang, Thomas Bryan Ivy.
Just a little bit.
Got it right there.
Got your radio brain back on?
Yeah.
Found it.
Whip, I just wanted to share with you very briefly that I just got a text from Lee, Lexi and Cody, who listen every week and say Riddle Time's the highlight of their week, and they just wanted to pass
They
it on.
need to get out more.
Lee, Lex and Cody.
Yeah.
They've obviously all got very tough lives.
Shout out to the sisters. Thanks
I know
for
a lot of
tuning in,
people are
girls.
doing it
I
tough
think
at
one
the
of them,
moment.
I think actually two of them are guys, but that's fine.
Shout out to the brothers and sisters.
And one's the dad, and there's a brother and a sister.
Shout out to the family.
Yeah, the
Shout out
Owens
to the family. And my
Put your radio brain on.
And my ladies. Okay. Here we go. Skivvies are back. Okay.
They are now. I'm wearing it.
I can be short and sometimes hot. When displayed, I rarely impress. What am I?
Anger. Temper.
Bang, Kay Ritchie. Kay Ritchie. Temper is what I needed. Let's get out on a high. Mandy from Mascot. Welcome to the show, Mandy.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Very good. Give us the best of Yorkshire this morning, Mandy.
I can be flipped and broken, but I never move. I can be closed and open and sometimes removed. I am sealed by hands. What am I?
A watch. A thing in your pocket. What's the watch you put in your pocket?
Fog pocket.
No.
Watch.
Sealed by hand.
An egg.
Nope.
Flicked and broken. So I never move.
Flipped. Flipped or flicked, Mandy? Flipped or flicked?
Not flicked.
Flipped.
Oh, I can turn that.
Is
mate.
Flip like an egg.
Egg. Flipped, yeah.
I've seen it,
Nope.
mate.
No.
Is it like
Come
a
on,
deal,
Kate.
a deal or something?
Come on, man.
It's a deal!
Deal.
Trousers in the purse.
So it's not an egg?
It's not an egg,
it's not
Kate.
an egg.
I don't
Or
think it's an egg.
It could be an egg.
It's not an egg. Mandy, you're beautiful. Thanks for calling the show. Prizes in the post.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.